Hey guys, it's Kai here, and today we're going to work on this image, but I'm also going to show you guys how to add some glow effects to your own images, and I'll show you 5 different ways that you can do that. So stick around. So this is a good stopping point. I'm pretty happy with the body shape right here and the way that I'm shading it, but I'm not too happy with this right here. The head is way too light for me. Eventually, I'm going to use some different types of lighting. One may be right here, the carrot on top of his chest. The other one may be the carrot itself. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. I'm going to try a few different things out, but I've made this way too light because I'm going to come back in. I'm going to try to use some adjustment layers and some other type of layers in order to do the main lighting of the rabbit. But for now, it's way too light, so I'm going to be working on that. Another little trick I'll use is, as you can see over here on my layers, I sometimes get a lot of layers and they're kind of fumbly. I use clipping layers so I can clip it to basically a shape. But sometimes I'll go over top, and I'm kind of a long distance away from my original shape. So what I'll do is I'll go back to my original shape, which I'm looking at the robot right here. And I will hit Command, click on the item, and then I'll go back up to where I'm going to be painting. And that'll allow me to paint inside. If I end up forgetting to do that, I paint outside of that line, what I can do is go back down to that layer, select it, Shift Command I, and that will invert the selection. And then I'll just press Delete, and that piece that is on the outside is erased. So that's one of the tricks I'll use whenever I end up getting a little bit too far away from my original layer. So sometimes I create problems for myself, and in this situation I've actually merged all of my objects into one layer. So I have my robot and my carrot down here into one layer, but I don't really want them in one layer. So in order for me to separate them, here's what I do. I select the layer that it's on, I grab my lasso tool, I click L for lasso. Then I'm going to Command C, and that copies my carrot. Command X, which deletes my carrot. Then I'm going to hit Shift Command V, and that's going to put my carrot in the exact same spot that it was before. So once again, I'm just going to delete this layer. I'm on the layer that, go back here. So I'm on the layer that has both my robot and my carrot. L for lasso, Command C, Command X, Shift Command V. And as you can see over here on my layer menu, I now have my carrot on a different layer. Okay, even though we're not done with the painting right now, I'm going to show you some of the glowing effects that you can add to your own paintings. And like I said, I'm going to show you 5 different ways that you can do it. And the first one that we're going to do is going to be more like if you're doing flames or something like that and you want to add some sparks. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new layer. Select a brush. It really doesn't matter what brush that I'm going to select. So I'll grab this one right here. And it does have the transfer selected on it. So you can either hit the transfer up here, or you can go into your brush sets and you can hit your transfer here, and then you can make your adjustments right there. So anyway, I have transfer on this brush, so I'll kind of show you what that looks like. I can go light and dark, or light and more opaque, I should say. But I'm going to select a yellow color that's very saturated and bright. So it's going to look like this. Just like that. Then I'm going to double click on my layer. I'm going to go to outer glow, select the color, and I'm going to go more of a reddish orange and very saturated. As you can see over here on the spark itself, it's starting to get that little glow to it, but I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Add some of the spread, maybe that's too much there. Size too much. And what you're going to notice with this also is that once you have this set up in your layers, now you can just go through here and get that anyway. If you don't like it, you can get back in here, maybe adjust it a little bit more. There we go. I kind of like that. Maybe I'll take it down just a notch. Right in there. And now, because of my transfer, I can do something light and it kind of just glows and you barely see a little bit of yellow. And if I go a little bit darker, or if I can just go right over top of that, you start to kind of get these cool effects here. So you add that to some fire and you got some pretty cool effects. Our next glow effect is going to be just adding an overlay. So I'm going to go over here to my new layer, come up here to my layer modes, then I'm going to hit it overlay right here, and I'm going to change my brush to a softer brush so it kind of looks like that. Now if I want, let's say, this carrot here on the robot to glow, I might boost it a little bit, go a little bit brighter, and just kind of go over top of it like this a few times. And it does take a few strokes to kind of get that, and maybe I go around here. So you can actually get a pretty good glow with that. What if I wanted the carrot to glow? Same thing, I just kind of add that overlay right in there. Or if I want the eye on the rabbit to glow, maybe I'll select the color, go brighter, and then I'll just start giving it. And with the overlay, it does take a few hits to kind of give it that glowing effect. And that's all you do for overlay. The next glowing effect is going to be another layer. So I'm going to add a new layer. This time I'm going to use hard light. Hard light gives a really cool glowing effect. So I'm going to come down here to hard light. And then once again, I'm going to select this color for the carrot, boost it a little bit, and then we're just going to kind of go over top just the same way you did with your overlay layer. But with the hard light, you'll notice that it takes a lot less to really get that glowing effect. Same thing here, carrot, get that glow like that, or the eye of the rabbit. And what you'll notice with these glowing effects is that some work better at different times than others. And you really just kind of have to play with them to see what's going to work best for that moment. So with this next technique, the only time that you want to do it is when you're absolutely done with an image, because you're going to have to flatten everything down for it to come out and actually look the way that it should. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten everything that I have down into one image. And like I said, I'm not done with this image, so I wouldn't use this technique right now. So in order to do that, I'm going to hit Shift Option Command E, and you'll see that it basically makes a copy of everything that I have and puts it on one layer. So now that I have this on one layer, I'm going to duplicate it. And for me to duplicate it, I'm going to hit Command J, and you'll see that that layer is automatically duplicated. That way, if I'm working on it and I don't like something about it, and I kind of mess up, I don't have to go through all these steps. I can just erase that one, erase that layer, delete it, Command J again, and I have that layer back, and I can just go at it again. So it's all about a little bit of speed and just trying to do everything a little bit faster. So once I get here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select an airbrush, put my brush mode on color dodge, come into my image, and then just start painting. Now the big thing here is what you'll notice is I have my opacity set really low on this. If you have this way high, you're going to blow out that color. Look, that was one stroke and you blow it out really fast. But if you want a little bit more control, even though this is on transfer, which is pressure sensitive, it's still going to blow it out a lot faster. So what I like to do is I like to drop that opacity a little bit. That way I can kind of ease into those colors. And you can do it with a little bit more taste and not killing it really, really fast. But like I said, this technique is only used once you're absolutely done with your image. So the last glowing effect technique that I want to show you guys is the one that I probably use most. I actually like this technique quite a bit. In order to do it, what I'm going to do is, and you can add this technique on its own layer, which is cool. So you can turn it on and off, and yeah, to me, it works out really great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a layer, and this is going to be on top of everything. For this glowing effect to work, it has to be on top of everything. So I'm going to add a layer. Let me turn my brush mode back to normal. And I'm going to grab my paint bucket tool, my paint bucket. I'm going to grab my paint bucket tool, and I'm going to turn my color to black, total black, just like that. Then I'm going to turn this to color dodge. What you see is now it's totally transparent. I'm going to take my paintbrush, find a color that I like. Let's see, let's go there, let's go a little bit warmer. This, I'm going to leave the opacity lower on my brush again because I don't want to blow it out too much. Let's see what happens when I do this. It's going to blows it out, right? So when I want a little bit more control, I'm going to drop my opacity down, and let's hit these feet a little bit. And notice I can just kind of ease into it, just like that. And I love this technique. This is the one that I probably use the most whenever I'm adding glows. And I'll show you why. It almost acts as a mask. Get that, and I can go a little bit brighter. Get some of that green there. Make sure that's glowing. There we go. I can even hit some of the sidewalk if I wanted to. Maybe hit right here, shining up there. So here's one of the reasons why I like it. It acts as a mask, actually. So if I go back down, I take my color and I go back down to black, I can paint that glow right back out. Almost like I'm erasing it without erasing it. Or another way to erase it, I should say. If I want it back in there, just grab that color, and paint it right in. So that's it for how you can add a glow to some of your own paintings. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully some of the other techniques that I showed in the video can help you out as well. Don't forget to like, or don't like it if you didn't like it, and don't forget to subscribe if you like the video, because there's a lot more tutorials coming and speed paintings and things like that. I also have a Patreon page if you'd like to support me further, as well as a Gumroad store. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.